Here's the short and simple of it. The Department of Labor just finalized their final rule, and truck drivers are not a part of this. So this was about overtime pay. OIDA was pushing for them to include truck drivers, and Department of Labor did not. So that's just the grunt of it. They're working on a new bill. We could talk about that in this. But Mutha Truckers, do you believe that truck drivers should get overtime pay just like everyone else? Mutha Truckers, comment down below. Let me know what you guys think, because some people think it's a good thing. Other people that own fleets say it's not, because now they're not going to be able to afford their drivers. Rates are bad as it is. Mutha Truckers, what are your thoughts about this? But the short and simple, yep. OIDA was pushing for overtime pay for drivers, and Department of Labor left truck drivers out once again. Let's get into today's video. What's going on, Mutha Truckers? Welcome to Mutha Trucker News. Let's get right into this. We've had truck drivers asking what happened to that overtime pay for all truck drivers. There are thousands of company drivers that really wanted this to go through. And so I just want to give you this update. Department of Labor has stated, first off, the reason why truckers were never included with overtime is because of this Fair Labor Standards Act of 1938. This is where the employee truck drivers would be required to be eligible for overtime pay. The FLSA currently exempts motor carriers from having to pay their truck drivers time and a half when they are working more than 40 hours in a week. So the FLSA motor carriers exemption was originally enacted in 1938 to prevent truckers from working excessive hours, but now it actually kind of does the opposite and prevents them from receiving adequate compensation in modern trucking industry days. So OIDA was pushing hard to fight and file in November for them to update and allow truck drivers to get overtime pay. And this is the update here. And it states that overtime rule leaves out truck drivers. OIDA promotes Govt Truckers Act. So the short of end of the stick is there is an update with the Department of Labor, but truck drivers are not in it at all. It says here the DOL published a final rule on April 23rd that increases the amount of money a salaried worker must make to exempt from overtime compensation. Under the rule, the current salary threshold of $35,568 will be increased to $43,888 by July 1st and to $58,656 by January 1st of 2025. Starting in 2027, the salary threshold will be updated every 3 years based up to the date wage data. So it's estimated that about 4 million workers will be affected by the increases, but truck drivers is not in this update of final rule. OIDA is pushing for something else, and they are stating that it's called the Govt Truckers Act. Although DOL didn't include truck drivers in the final rule, OIDA helped craft the Guaranteeing Overtime for Truckers Act. So we'll see where this goes. It says the Govt Truckers Act, which has been introduced in the House and Senate, would simply amend the Fair Labor Standards Act to end the overtime exemption from motor carriers. Representative Jeff Van Drew and New Jersey, who introduced the bipartisan bill in the House, said it's about fairness. So let's see what happens. Let's see where this goes. OIDA was fighting to hope that in this new Department of Labor final rule that they would finally include truck drivers, but they did not. So plain and simple, the truck drivers get screwed again. Mutha Truckers, comment down below. Love to hear from you guys. Some people say that if they have to pay overtime pay for company drivers, then that would mean that they would just give less hours to drivers, and you're just going to end up making less money anyways, right? Mutha Truckers, let's debate this. Tell me what you think. Should drivers get overtime? All right. We're talking here with all our friends. We got all our friends here, and they're making fun of him a little bit. But it's okay. Tell the world of people in trucking, if they want to get into trucking, what not to do so that they can have more opportunities.
If you have a choice, go somewhere where you can get training in a manual. Because if you get your automatic restriction, I'm sure it's different by state, but I know in South Carolina that if you get tested in automatic, you have a restriction. The only way to get rid of it is to go back and retest in a manual. So you got to be able to find a truck and somebody to help you out, and you can't really just go rent a truck anymore because they're pretty much all automatics. So you pretty much got to know people and to be able to find somebody who's willing to help you and teach you a little bit, and you got to go back and retest. When I took my test, I basically just retook the whole driving test again. They really didn't seem like they cared about the shifting part of it. They were more asking me about speed limit signs, bridge height signs, stuff like that, like your regular test. I've had my CDL over 2 years now, and I just finally got rid of my restriction. And it's only because I knew somebody who was able to get me in contact with somebody else.
And so how does it feel now to be able to hold a stick?
I still drive an automatic truck, so I can't really tell you that.
What's wrong? Hey, your stick is very long. That's all I gotta say. It's like all the way up. It's all the way up on there. No, joking aside, no, that's really good advice, though, right?
Yeah, definitely go somewhere where you can test in a manual and they'll train you in a manual, because it's so much easier to do that right off the bat than it is to go through an automatic. I wish I would have done it that way, but my finances at the time, I couldn't really take off work and pay for a school. But only like a couple months after I got my CDL, the local college by me started offering it for free.
Cool. So that's a way.
It's cool for other people, not for me.
Yeah, I heard that. Hey, appreciate you.
Appreciate you.
Hey.